Alrighty, we have reconvened. Today is Tuesday. Is today Tuesday? No, I was gonna say it says Tuesday, but I'm like, I don't think so. Today is Monday, May 4th, 2026. This is a business meeting. We have our public hearing, Prince George's County proposed FY 2027 operating budget, 6-year capital program, including the capital improvement budget and the Prince George's County Board of Education portion of the county FY 2027 operating budget, proposed budget of the Redevelopment Authority and Revenue Authority of Prince George's County, and the constant yield tax rate. So I just want to welcome everyone to this public hearing. The time limitation is 2 minutes per speaker has been imposed. There will be no relinquishing of the time by one speaker to another. Written statements may be submitted for the record in addition to or in lieu of verbal testimony. Written testimony or comments will be accepted in electronic format rather than by U.S. mail via the council's e-comment portal. For those unable to use the portal, comments written correspondence may be emailed or faxed to 301-952-5178. Comments should be addressed to the Honorable Chris Oria, the Chair of Prince George's County Council, Wayne K. Curry, Administration Building, 1301 McCormick Drive, Largo, Maryland, 20774. I would like to start by an introduction of the council members. I'm Councilwoman Chris Oriella. I have the pleasure of representing District 7 and the honor of serving as chair of the county council this year. Next, we'll have the vice chair and other members introduce themselves.
Good evening, Eric Olson, Vice Chair, representing District 3.
Edward Burrows, County Council, District 8.
Timothy Adams, County Council 4.
Sidney Harrison, County Council, District 9, and I want to thank everyone for being here this evening. Thank you so much for testifying tonight.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming. Tom Dernoga, Council District 1.
Hi, Jolene Ivy at large.
All right, thank you. And again, thank you all for being here today. We look forward to you being part of the budget process with us. We are going to start with the speakers list. If this is your first time joining us, there will be a timer that's in front of you. It'll have the 2 minutes on there, and it will gently make a little noise that lets you know it's over, and then I will do my best to gently ask you to stop so that we can move on to the next speaker. But as I mentioned, you can always turn in additional comments in writing. I would like to start with Donna Christie from PGCPA.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the council. I am Dr. Donna Christie, President of the Prince George's County Educators Association, representing nearly 10,000 educators. This is Educator Appreciation Week, and across this county, educators will be thanked, as they should be. But let's be clear about something. A thank you does not reduce class size. A thank you does not hire staff. A thank you does not meet special education requirements. Only funding does that, and right now, the funding is short $30 million. After $146 million in cuts, there is nothing left to trim without cutting into the core of school operations. What remains are decisions that directly affect classrooms, staffing, and legally required services. So let's call this what it is. This is not a question of need. The need is clear. This is a question of will. Will you find the $30 million, or will you pass the consequences down to the classroom? Because that is exactly what is going to happen when this gap is not closed. Fewer adults in buildings, larger class sizes, strained special education services that are already underfunded, and a workforce pushed back into instability. Educators have already done more than their share. They've carried this system through instability and held it together with duct tape and silly putty. This week, you will say you appreciate them. The question is whether you will act like it. Find the $30 million. because appreciation without action is just noise, and people are paying very close attention to what you choose to do when it matters. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have Anita Jones, then Melissa, and then Rebecca Rios. I'm sorry. And it said Annette. It did. Yeah, Annette. I'm sorry. My brain just went, had a moment.
Thank you and good afternoon. I am Dr. Annette Jones, Vice President of PGCA. Thank you for your continued commitment to our school community and for the dedicated support you have consistently shown. All of you sitting there have shown tremendous leadership, and that has made a meaningful difference. And I want to begin by recognizing that. However, today I would like to respectfully ask that you revisit and provide additional funding that the Board of Education is asking for. You have been seen the dedication and the initiative that the board has embarked on by critically analyzing all the programs of need. Our motto in this county is children come first. The need is great and has grown beyond our current capacity. Demand for services has increased, and without adequate resources, we risk turning people away or reducing the quality of what we provide. So let's not do that. I will not name a specific program because as a classroom teacher, every need is a necessity. The investment is not just about meeting today's needs. It's about preventing bigger challenge tomorrow. When we fund our school early and adequately, we reduce long-term costs, strengthen our community, and create more equitable outcomes for all. Every dollar allocated here has a measurable income. It supports jobs, improves access, and delivers tangible results and align with the county's goals and our priorities. The school board is committed to accountability and transparency and will ensure that any additional funding will be used efficiently and responsibly. Please give us the additional $30 million. Thank you again for your dedication and for considering this request. Thank you.
Thank you. And if I had already called your name, you can come on up to the podium. And just say your name for the record again and give your speech.
Good evening, Melissa Schweisguth, District 2, Hyattsville. Thank you, Chair Aratha and Vice Chair Olson and the council and staff for being here and listening to budget comments this evening. I spoke to you last time about the animal shelter. I'm going to send a lot of comments, but I just want to let you know that my foster count went up by 8, so now I have 133 fosters because it's kitten season. So just a reminder, please support spay, neuter, and trap, neuter, return, whether or not the county gets the grant. I think we applied for about $20,000 total in grants, not a lot of money, so please just allocate that whether or not we get the grant. Super cute kittens, but we're getting 2,000 cats back in the shelter every year across strays and owner return. There's just not enough demand for, unfortunately, all those cats. So I wanted to speak very quickly about the tax rate, the tax differential for Hyattsville. Every year since 2022, FY22, the tax rate has increased for Hyattsville. And meanwhile, the unincorporated rate has stayed the same. And the FY27 tax differential report is not even posted online, so I can't see where there are any differences, but I do oppose this. I feel like our incorporated residents are unfairly being burdened with increased taxes, and we are, working families. So this is about I understand that the constant yield tax rate is one of the things you're speaking about this evening, and so please use the constant yield tax rate. I would much rather talk about safe streets. I have about 40 seconds to do so. I certainly prioritize safe streets, biking, walking, vulnerable road users, and I do ask you to please prioritize funding for that. I know this is quite expensive to make sure that we're implementing the Walkable Urban Streets Act, completing green streets, the Safe Streets for All, but grant writers, not a lot of money, and you have been pretty successful getting a lot of money. I know Eric Olson really champions the Walkable Urban Streets Act. I've never seen any tracking or update on status, so I'd love to see that, but please do ensure that and make sure that we are investing equally in South County. I live in North. We have a lot of trails. It's easier for me to bike, but South County, people can't even get to Metro safely. And please also support transit for those folks who are transit dependent. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And after Rebecca, we have Michelle Clark, Piper, and Timothy Meyer.
Good evening. It's an honor to be here. My name's Rebecca Rios. I live in District 2. I'm a proud parent of a first grader at Cesar Chavez Dual Spanish Immersion Elementary School. My family moved to PG County in 2017. Shortly thereafter, I learned that PG County was ranked last in state in the state in student achievement. I've since learned about the promise of the 2021 Blueprint for Maryland's Future legislation. Benefits of this legislation are already felt in our school. By design, our school has many multilingual learners. These learners, along with students with disabilities or who live under conditions of poverty and food insecurity, face challenges to educational attainment. At our school, our passionate teachers, our special education team, our school counselor and community school coordinator, among others, are de confianza. They are trusted. Community school designation has brought wraparound services so that when a family faces a challenge, there is someone trusted to turn to. With the budget cuts already made, our principal has made difficult decisions. Class sizes are increasing next year by 50%. My daughter wants to know if there will be another fire when she is in second grade and if that second grade classroom will be ready for her. I'm concerned that dedicated teachers and families with school-aged children like mine will have good reason to opt themselves out of PGCPS by leaving the county. I urge you to champion educational equity for the sake of our children and our greater society. I respectfully ask you to get started right away by providing the full $50 million requested by PGCPS and by putting forth a plan to restore full funding to public education and to bringing the Blueprint for Maryland's Future into fruition. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, members of the County Council. It's good to see you again, Michelle Clark. I'm a teacher at Kenmore Early Childhood Center. I'm a member of the Board of Directors at PGCEA, but I'm speaking as an individual. I live in Crystal Oriada's district, and I've been here now for 18 years, because I wanted to move closer to where I taught. I wanted to be part of my community, and that is part of what I've done. I'm on the edge of Seat Pleasant, so I'm not far from the school where I teach. I want you to find the money, please find the money, for the full funding of the school system budget. Some of the items that could be cut out by getting rid of the $30 million include expansion of autism programs, augmenting early childhood services, intervention teachers for achievement gaps and inclusion, enhancing compliance and teacher support. I'll tell you, as a special educator, compliance is one of my biggest issues, trying to get that paperwork done while still teaching full-time in the classroom. They're also looking at strengthening family engagement and support, expanding access to dual language programs, increase opportunities for the seal of biliteracy, and contingency for federal funding. We all know the feds are not going to fund education properly. Unfortunately, I'm very close to somebody who likes that crazy man, but we know that education is on the chopping block at the federal level. We have to make up the funds somehow, and it's got to be a priority for our county. I know property taxes are high. I know we have trim. But we have to come up with some way to make sure that we're better funding our schools. Our per pupil funding is one of the lowest in the state. Thank you.
Thank you. Did we have Piper or Timothy?
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Piper Kerr, and I'm an 8th grader at a specialty school here in Prince George's County. I'm preparing to start my high school experience in a specialty program as well, and I'm here to urge you to provide the full funding amount for the upcoming school year budget. I spoke not long ago at a school board meeting about how important my immersion experience has been for me. Since then, I've been trying to study and wrap my mind around the funding challenges facing our school district. Unfortunately, most of what I found was finger-pointing and blame. My teachers have taught me that neither of those things is helpful, and they never solve problems. I've heard the argument that specialty programs take money away from a majority of students. I'd like to respectfully challenge that. Evidence shows that specialty programs are often fueled by external federal and state grants, bringing in extra resources that the county wouldn't otherwise have. Beyond the budget, research also shows that immersion students consistently score higher in tests than their non-immersion peers, not just in language, but in math and reading too. According to the American Council on the Teaching of Foreign Languages, immersion students are more likely to graduate high school and pursue higher education, outcomes that benefit every family in this county. I say this not to make non-immersion programs seem bad, but to emphasize why we need to keep the immersion and other specialty programs around. These programs don't compete with other students. They don't take from one student and give to another. They lift the entire academic culture of our school system. My friends, my peers, my sisters and brother, all of us are the ones who suffer when funding decisions fall short. I hope my presence today reminds you of that. As the saying goes, talent is universal, but opportunity is not. You have the power to protect that opportunity today. I want to end by saying that in my brief research on the issues, it is clear that there's a lot of work to do to fix the broken system that are schools in PGCPS. And the finger pointing and blame need to stop. I'm 14 years old, so you all have 4 years to show me why you deserve my vote. So please get to work. Merci pour ma petite ton attention.
Thank you. Next, Timothy, then Dr. Robert, and Dula Rahman will be after that.
Thank you. Timothy Meyer here to support PGCPS's full $50 million budget funding request and highlight the urgent funding crisis that we face. For decades, we have failed to adequately invest in our schools. PGCPS is about 33% county funded. Anne Arundel is nearly half. Montgomery County, 2/3. If you're worried about this year's budget and cuts, it's about to get far worse. We are dangerously over-reliant on state funding. And with the blueprint facing $1 billion shortfall next year and $3 billion by FY30, PGCPS is not heading towards a funding cliff. We are already dangling over it. Last year, legislators allowed counties to set local income tax rates at 3.3%. For Prince George's, that extra 0.1% could mean nearly $30 million more for education. That would close our immediate budget gap and averages to an extra $140,000 for each school in the future. That means teachers, programs saved, and other investments for our kids. All for an extra $100 per $100,000 of taxable income. You can fix the PGCPS budget today. We have the money. The question is, does the council and our elected officials have the political will? We also need long-term reform, and we will never fully fund PGCPS adequately without putting trim on the table. For half a century, we have chosen to trade a few dollars off of our tax bill for underpaying our educators, underinvesting in our schools, and undervaluing our students. No tax cut is ever worth an education funding cut. It's time to invest in PGCPS properly, starting with their full $50 million funding request. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Chair, honorable members of the County Council. My name is Robert Ponectera. I'm the Executive Director of Liberty's Promise. We run an organization, have an organization that works here in Prince George's County that serves 4 high schools and a middle school with after-school programs of civic engagement and a summer internship program. And I'm here this evening, and some of my students are here with me to advocate for having our funding put back to its a non-departmental grant of $130,000, which was cut 2 years consecutively. But with that funding, I would be able to fully staff my programs at the 4 high schools and 1 middle school. And the really cool thing about Liberty's Promise is we're just not an after-school program, we're a community. So a lot of young people who come to this country, it's really kind of cool to see the previous testimony or the previous exhibit about the Jewish grocers who came here 70-some years ago, and they came here to earn a living and to live their American dream. I've got young people right here who are living their American dream, and they want to do it here in Prince George's County. And so we've been here since 2010. Our young people have gone on to be police officers and teachers and accountants, and they've done all sorts of great things, and we would like the opportunity to continue doing that. And would like to let you know that we are starting with private funding a trades program here in the county, starting this coming school year, which will introduce young people to all sorts of different trades and get them hopefully to be the skilled workers that Prince George's County needs for the future. So here come my youth. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you for your support.
No, thank you so much. And just for the record, especially with non-departmental grants, this is not just for you, but for all the organizations. Just want to make sure that I don't think the council has done a great job of articulating that every year every organization has to reapply and then get allocated funding. And that's not guaranteed every year because we get an over $30 million of requests, and usually we start with $4 to $5 million that we're able to allocate. And so I appreciate you coming. I think you're doing the right thing. Come every year and advocate for your organization to get funding. I just want to make sure, like for the community and the organizations, it's really clear that it doesn't automatically roll over to the next year. And every year we have to reevaluate the list and organizations have to reapply. But thank you. Mm-hmm.
Good evening, council members. My name is Abdurrahman and I'm a student at Bladensburg High School. I've been part of Liberty's Promise for the past 3 years, and I can honestly say that it has really changed how I view my future. Coming from a Sudanese background, I was looking for a space where I could truly fit in and grow. When I first joined, I thought it would just be something to do after school, but I quickly realized that it was much more than that. One thing that stands out to me about Liberty's Promise is the community itself. It's a space where you feel supported, where you stay engaged, and where building real friendships comes naturally because everyone is pushing each other to succeed. Liberty's Promise gave me opportunities that I wouldn't normally get in a normal classroom. We had guest speakers like a county district lawyer and professionals from Trust Bank who taught us about financial literacy. Hearing from people in those careers made those paths feel real and achievable. We also took field trips into DC, including visits into the Smithsonian museums, which helped us connect what we're learning to the real world. But the biggest thing that this program gave me is confidence. Before Liberty's Promise, I didn't really see myself speaking up or taking on leadership roles. Now I feel ready to put myself out there, join other programs, and this has truly happened because I've joined multiple programs, and like, for example, our school's JROTC, where I actually got the courage to become a drill commander. And Liberty's Promise doesn't just give us something to do after school. It gives us the tools to believe in ourselves and see a future where we belong in professional spaces, no matter where we come from. Thank you for supporting a program that truly opens doors for students just like me.
Thank you. Abraham? I apologize. I thought I had already said that third name. And then Leslie Miranda, Lene Dukes.
Good evening, council members. My name is Abraham Merlos, and I am a 10th grade student at Parkdale High School. I'm here today on behalf of Liberty's Promise, a program that has become an important part of our school and our community. Parkdale is a very diverse school, with many students coming from immigrant backgrounds and facing many economic challenges. Liberty's Promise creates a space where students, like me, feel supported, welcomed, and motivated to succeed. It's more than just an after-school program. It's a community. Through Liberty's Promise, we've had the opportunity to hear from guest speakers from many different fields, including college advisors, legal, medical, and other professional careers. These speakers don't just inform us, they inspire us. They help us see that our goals are possible and that people with backgrounds like ours can succeed. We've also taken educational field trips to Washington, D.C., including visits to the National Mall and museums. These experiences help us connect to what we learn in school to the real world and better understand the history and opportunities around us. One of the most impactful parts of this program for me was participating in the student elections. Running for a leadership position helped me overcome my nerves, and it helped me improve public speaking, skills that I'm using right now talking to you guys. Overall, Liberty's Promise is a program that supports students who need it most. It provides not just food and activities, but real opportunities, experiences, and guidance for our future. As a student, I'm asking for your continued support and funding so this program can keep helping immigrant students like me achieve our goals and build a better future. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, no Leslie. Moving on. Or is this okay?
Good evening, council members. My name is Leslie Miranda. I am a 12th grader at High Point High School.
Sorry, can you restart her time? It's at 13 seconds. 11 seconds now. Started at 2. At least that's what I'm saying. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Leslie Miranda, and I'm a 12th grader at High Point High School. Liberty's Promise is an after-school program focused on college, career, and other skills for the future. I have been part of Liberty's Promise for years, and it's been a wonderful experience throughout all those years. While being in this program, I was able to gain lifelong skills such as refining my resume and college prep, while also getting real-world experience with their internship. Please support the continued funding of Liberty's Promise. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And Dukes, and then Kevin Amaris, and then Teresa Dudley.
Council members, thank you for your time. My name is Leonie Dukes, and I'm a 12th grader at High Point High School. I've been in Liberty Promise since 9th grade, and to tell you about Liberty Promise, it is a college education after-school program. While being in this program, my knowledge about college scholarships and careers has increased. While also being in Liberty Promise, I managed to find my voice and not be afraid to speak out loud. My social skills has gotten better, and my abilities to work in others has also increased. While being there has been nothing more than a wonderful experience, and I'm so grateful I get to meet one of my friends. One of my favorite things about Liberty Promise is the guest speaker. Some of the guest speakers that come talk about how to manage your money, human trafficking awareness, and colleges. I am very sad that this is my last week here at this club. I will never forget the memories that I made here at Liberty Promise. Please support the continuing fighting at Liberty Promise. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Kevin Amaris. I'm from Colombia. I'm here representing Northwestern High School. I'm in 11th grade. I'm here representing Northwestern High School. Today I want to talk about what Liberty Promise means to me. For me, it's not just a program after school. What gives us community hours? It's a chance to help others and make a real difference. In this program, I've learned that small actions matters. For example, helping someone with homework, cleaning up a space, or just being kind to others. These things may seem simple, but they show respect and care for our community. The Liberty Promise is important because it teaches responsibility. It reminds us that freedom is not just about ourselves, but about helping others too. I was here last year. I testified in Spanish because I didn't feel confident at that time. Now I feel very proud of myself because I'm here speaking in English. And it is partly thanks to Liberty Promise. Thank you for your support to our program, Liberty Promise. Thank you.
Thank you. You did a great job. And I think we had Teresa Dudley, Ben Siles, Shannon Reed.
Good evening. Buenas noches, Presidente del Consejo del Condado y Miembros. That's about the extent of my Spanish, and I had to use a translator for that. I do know tu está mi novio, but that's not appropriate for here. I wanted to come before you tonight to ask you to fully fund the school system budget. I'm teaching at the new Ellen Ochoa Middle School, which is a beautiful facility. However, they have placed all of the English language learners on my team, and I don't speak Spanish. And the extra English ELD teachers have not materialized, and it's very challenging to staff these positions. So we have been without the ELD support on our team, which is unfair to the students. Our teachers need to have Spanish classes offered to them or multilingual classes so that they can survive. I have students who speak Spanish, French, Pashto, many different languages. I need translation tools so that I can reach all of my students. This process for our budget is so enormous that the school system started back at the beginning of September and October, and now we're at this hour cutting what they've asked for. It doesn't make sense to do all that proper planning and then to have the wool, have the blankets just pulled off you so you can't get it done. I would also ask that you look at the independent expenditures that you make and the grants that you make, and make it mandatory that those nonprofits that are claiming to do work in the schools are working with our community schools, because some of them have been paying lip service. And of course, our buses are arriving late, so we need to do what we can to make sure the system is funded so that we can hire enough bus drivers. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben, and then Shannon Reed. Okay. Ben Sly? Oh, you can come up, Shannon. Yeah, we called you as well, because you're already here.
Good evening. Rejecting PGCPS's proposed budget allows PGCPS to do the collaboration needed to move with clarity and urgency students and teachers need to come back to classrooms. Even after the great migration of teachers and students from classrooms in PGCPS still prioritizes and elevates administration above all else. Listen or leave and learn or leave are both free phrases that will help create the internal and external accountability PGCPS needs. Proposing $7 million for accountability and $12 million for leadership training, while proposing $1 million for professional development during a literacy and budget crisis, shows how we got here. It also shows the administrative bent that keeps PGCPS wasting millions on aspirationally named offices instead of actually developing students and teachers. Who would trust a system that has allowed millions of students to enter 10th grade with third grade reading skills and then name birth rates and border crossings as the causes of the currently reduced enrollment? Ensuring that students have the tutoring and buses they need to access additional instructional time with reading specialists, not administrators, will improve literacy and attendance and eventually enrollment. Multilingual learners' persistent underachievement and ineffective distractive models of language immersion highlights Prince George's County Public Schools' proposal to dismantle or even change effective additive models of language immersion programs in the name of equity as profoundly short-sighted. If there is underutilization, there are thousands of students who need the rich and rigorous work for first and second language development that they have not gotten in summer school nor regular school programs, because those programs are planned by instructional specialists who do not teach and who have not done substantive data analysis. A greater inequity is caused by allowing this and paying these instructional specialists far more than classroom teachers who actually make a positive impact on student learning. When PGCPS gives teachers the time we need for data analysis, students will get what they need. When PGCPS is serious about education and equity, students will get serious too. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you. After Ben, Ida Richmond, Anna Gutierrez.
Good evening, Madam Chair and council members. Thank you for this awesome privilege. My name is Ben Sly, Executive Director of Passion to Compassion, Inc., and we are respectively urging the Prince George's County Council to prioritize food security funding in the FY 2027 budget, Passion and Compassion last year recovered 2.9 million pounds of fresh produce, the equivalent of approximately 3.48 million meals, and we redistributed that directly to Prince George's County residents. We offer multiple distribution sites, partnering with most members of this council. We do a big event in May called World Hunger Day. Last year, 2024, we worked with District 2 and 3. Last year with District 8 with Mr. Burrows. And this year, we'll be working with District 4, Tim Adams. Food insecurity does not pause between fiscal years. County investment and organizations like Passion and Compassion is not a charity. It is infrastructure for our county. Every dollar directed toward food recovery multiplies our impact for our county. Food security is a right, not a privilege. We also, Madam Chair, want to thank Vice Chair Olson, who has spearheaded a project, also partnering with the state of Maryland to hopefully open a Prince George's County community food bank, first community food bank in Prince George's County, serving health, fresh fruits and vegetables and proteins to our county residents. So our theme at Prince George, as Prince George's County and Passion and Compassion is we are better together. Thank you.
Thank you. Ida and Anna.
Good evening. My name is Ana Gutierrez, and I'm a lifelong PG County resident, educator, and mother of 3 PGCPS students. I'm here today to ask that PGCPS receive the additional funding that they've requested in addition to their already established budget. This funding is needed to protect children-facing programs, including language immersion, IB, and especially our SPED services. I understand that even with the funds, there is no guarantee that they'll be put to use for children instead of the council's own pet projects. But that is the obstacle that, as you can see here with today, the parents, voters, and advocates are surely willing to overcome. I understand that this is not a new problem, but a long-standing tradition of fiscal irresponsibility, as this same irresponsibility continues to damage the residents and children of this county. I am looking at you, the elected officials of this county, to place children first. As mentioned, I'm an educator, and one of the biggest issues facing the classroom today are the decisions made by people who are not in the classroom but are in offices. And I ask that you listen to the educators of our students. I ask that you see our students not just as data points, but as the next generation. They are the ones who need the skills and the accessibility that will be able to carry them into a successful adulthood. And that comes with funding their education and making PG a place where they can thrive, not just survive. Thank you.
Thank you. Ida Richmond, going once, going twice. Okay. Next, we have Leah Schuler, Tina Teasley, Elsie Jacobs. I don't think I saw Miss Jacobs.
Good evening. My name is Leah Schuler. I'm a District 4 homeowner, military member, volunteer at the animal shelter, and co-founder of Love Paws Rescue. I'm here to urge the council to prioritize more effective and humane investments in our county's animal welfare system. First, by increasing access to and awareness of low-cost spay and neutering programs is one of the most cost-effective steps the county can take. Too many residents are unaware of existing services or face barriers in accessing them. Without proactive outreach, especially in undeserved communities, and we will continue to see preventable overpopulation, increased shelter intake, and higher long-term costs for animal control and care. Second, I urge the council to allocate funding to more play yards and to improve the surfaces within the current play yards, specifically removing the rocks and cover with grass or other dog-friendly materials is a necessary welfare improvement. The rocks can become extremely hot during the summer months, particularly in June and July, and they pose a risk to dogs' paws. Additionally, they are a hazard to volunteers and the animals by slipping, creating unstable surfaces, and I've almost killed myself with a dog pulling me while trying to go out and rocks on concrete, and feet do not mix. And finally, I ask the council to take a hard look at areas of wasteful or inefficient spending within the current budget and redirect those funds towards more programs that deliver measurable community benefit. Prince George's County has an opportunity to lead with a humane, fiscally responsible approach to animal welfare. I urge you to make these priorities clear in the final budget. Thank you for your time and consideration, and please help us do more for the community, especially the animals, and keeping the animals and us safe. Please remove the rocks. It's so much of a hazard to everyone.
Thank you. Do we have Tina? After Tina, Gomez and Martina and Yolanda Johnson.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I wanted to speak about the DSP budget. Please do not cut their budget. My daughter, and I have pictures, my daughter Tiara, she was involved in a car accident, and this is Tiara before the accident. And Tiara plays basketball, okay? Played basketball. This is her team that she played for, okay? This is Tiara in a play at her school. This is Tiara about a month before the car accident. This is Tiara from the car accident. She was in a coma for 3 months. This is Tiara with her best friend who did not make it. She passed away. This is Tiara in the coma. This is Tiara when she had the trach in trying to breathe. This is Tiara with contractures. And this is Tiara because she has seizures. And I wanted to bring the pictures because she is just not a line item. She needs help. And DSP, the funding for DSP needs not to be cut. This is Tiara now at her residence, and she's exercising. This is Tiara in the pool. This is Tiara in therapy, where she's trying to raise her hands. This is Tiara, she loves art. This is her staff. They love up on her every day. This is Tiara, she built a gingerbread house. This is with her staff. This is Tiara with her staff. This is Tiara playing pool. These are DSP. They are not just line items. We really need your help. Please do not cut the funding. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next we have, which I don't believe I saw, Miss Elsie Jacobs. Okay, Gomez, Martina, and Yolanda Johnson.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the Council. My name is Shasi Gomez, District 7 resident, Vice Chair of the Sierra Club Prince George's Group. Please accept this testimony on behalf of our 2,500 members and supporters. We appreciate that this budget balances priorities and amid continued fiscal uncertainty across the region while maintaining environmental investments. We especially want to commend the continued funding of the Rain Rebate Program and the expansion of the Solar Grant Program and the launch of the Community Resilience Grant Program as well. To build on that progress and to align with the county's Climate Action Plan, we offer 3 targeted recommendations. First, a shift of the portion of the $1.8 million currently allocated for mowing and street sweeping towards planting native vegetation in public right-of-ways, align with DOE's FY27 goal of increasing green infrastructure to reduce stormwater volume, mitigate risks of extreme heat, sequester carbon, and beautify communities. Native plants are extremely cost-effective to achieve these goals, particularly in communities experiencing high asthma and heat burden. Secondly, we'd like to accelerate Complete Streets implementation now and not later. The county plans to resurface 18 miles of roadway in FY27, while Green Street improvements are delayed until FY28. We recommend using a portion of the $38.9 million already allocated towards green streets to incorporate sidewalks, bike infrastructure, and safety features during resurfacing. This coordination will help save money and deliver immediate public safety benefits. Finally, the FY27 Capital Improvement Program appropriately includes funding for the Brown Station landfill expansion and the Sandy Hill landfill post-closure care. We also must address the long-standing contamination at Brandywine landfill, currently ranked 7 out of 265 nationwide as one of the most contaminated landfills in the country. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Thank you. All right, Yolanda Johnson, not seeing. Okay. Martina, nope. Okay. Tessa Lewis, Paval, and Doreen Hodge. Oh, sorry. Yolanda Johnson was already called. A Martina Anu Yagu was called, and then just called Tessa Lewis.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you all for allowing me to be in front of you yet again. I'm Yolanda Johnson. I'm the Executive Director of CASA Prince George's County. That's Court-Appointed Special Advocates of Prince George's County. This year, we celebrate 25 years of advocacy for youth in foster care in Prince George's County. These are young people who have experienced abuse and neglect and who rely on us to ensure that they are not forgotten. Today, there are 315 youth in foster care here in the county. We're able to serve about 146 of those youth. We want to continue to close that gap. I see us as a helpmeet to the Department of Social Services, as well as gap fillers to the Department of Social Services. And oftentimes what happens with DSS is that their staff is overwhelmed. So then my staff and my advocates then come in to support those gaps. They provide resources. They make sure that that young person has someone to help them navigate the system. Can you imagine how scary it is for a young person coming into foster care and they're standing in a courtroom and everybody's talking about them and making decisions for them? Our advocates stand alongside of them and advocate for their best interests. But I want to be able to provide our advocates to the court when the court orders us. Right now we have about 40 youth on our waiting list. That is because a lot of our youth are medically fragile here in the county. Some of our youth are being placed out of the county in Baltimore as well. And so I want to be able to increase our capacity to continue to do that. So thank you for your continued support, and thank you for your future support with special appropriations and any available non-D funds in the future.
Thank you. Last call for Tessa Lewis.
Hello, good evening. I'm Tessa Lewis. I'm a CASA volunteer, and thank you for your time and attention this evening. As Yolanda mentioned, entering foster care is difficult, disruptive, and a very scary experience for a young person. They can lose everything they've ever known all at once through no fault of their own. Local CASA volunteers help ensure our county's most vulnerable youth in foster care due to neglect or abuse, ensure their needs are met and advocated for. A CASA volunteer might be the only consistent adult in the youth's life during their time in foster care. And through no fault of the adult's fault, they may not be able to stay on the youth's case for their time in care. So social workers, attorneys, foster parents, teachers, and more will often change in this young person's life, but a CASA will remain the same. CASA volunteers fiercely advocate for the young person's needs, providing the family court with critical insights and recommendations that can impact the trajectory of this young person's life. The community service of the volunteers, who often stay dedicated to their youth and their youth's case for years at a time, also partner with Yolanda's CASA staff, who provide invaluable insights on child welfare, provide critical advocacy, mentorship, and protection of Prince George's County's most vulnerable children and youth. Any and all support will benefit our county's youth. And lastly, I'd like to say that Prince George's County is widely known as one of the wealthiest predominantly black counties in the U.S., and it's my hope that our county can also be widely known for fiercely fighting for and protecting our youth in foster care. Our goals are straightforward and achievable, and we need your support. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Pavel Dravalev, I apologize, but I totally got that wrong. And Doreen Hodge.
Good evening. My name is Pavel Zhuravlev. I'm a long-time District 1 resident, public school parent. I'm here to urge you to fully fund the PGCPS fiscal year 27 budget request to prevent further cuts to essential academic programs. The Board of Education has requested additional 50 million. I appreciate County Executive's 20 million commitment for special education. However, much of the remaining 30 million is needed for core operation. So without it, they will probably have deeper cuts to various programs like IB, language immersion, AVID, maybe even talented and gifted, I don't know. I also ask the Council to use the oversight authority to ensure that any necessary reductions come from non-essential funding, such as administrative positions, not from classrooms. As a parent, I fully support raising teacher salaries. Our teachers deserve fair compensation, but this decision must be made in a fiscally responsible way. Last year's union contract, which the system could not sustainably afford, came with a promise that classrooms would be protected. That promise has been broken, and multiple programs they have suggested cuts. I urge you to help restore that commitment so our children are not impacted by poor financial planning. Finally, please fully fund capital improvements, including HVAC and electrical systems. At our school, HVAC barely works, and just 3 weeks ago, there was an electrical fire at Cesar Chavez Elementary. These are urgent safety issues. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Doreen, and then P. Hassan, Ingrid.
Hello, thank you all for your service to our county. My name is Doreen Hodge. My council member just left. And I am a 17-year resident of Oxon Hill, Maryland. I am also a substitute teacher. I am here to support the release of the full funding for PGCPS, but I would also like to mention and bring attention to the overwhelming need to allocate more funds to our school buildings. We need to put more money into maintaining and purchasing our new school and purchasing new school facilities. I think what sometimes we forget is that these buildings are a home away from home for our children. Sometimes they spend more time in school than they do awake at home. I have 3 children at John Hanson Montessori School, 10, 8, and 6 years old, so I'm invested in our community. Their building has fallen into disrepair. My daughter should not know what a rat looks like. She came home talking about the rat that she saw in her locker. The ceiling is falling in. When you walk inside the building after it rains, you see the water pooling on the floor. We are dealing with vermin infestations, and for a couple of weeks, I was trying to figure out what the smell was on my children. It was the smell of the school, a moldy smell. So I'm having a hard time understanding how we have all of these new facilities for all these recreation facilities and pools while my children's school is falling apart. And again, I'm a substitute teacher, so I've seen it over and over again in these schools. When my sister was moving into the area, she was told, do not consider Prince George's County Public Schools. But I had to tell her about all of the awesome, life-changing resources it does provide. But we won't attract new families if we don't change things. They are looking to move John Hanson into a facility that is too small and move the middle school into trailers. Trailers is not a long-term solution.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
No, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Patient Liu, and I'm the academic dean at Penn Branch Chinese Immersion Elementary School. I would like to begin my presentation with some good news. So this past Saturday, 2 of my student teams, they competed in the state Mesa Science competition, and both teams won second place. So we brought 2 trophies home for Prince George's County. And our Greenbelt Middle School team, they won third place. And also the Alumni High School team, they won first place. And they are going to compete to the national and representing our county. All the students I mentioned, the teams are from Chinese Immersion Program, teaching math and science in Mandarin. Our program is the only public tuition-free Chinese immersion program in Prince George's County. As a Title I and community school, we provide opportunities to our students that they would not otherwise have. I'm here today to ask for full funding for PGCPS. The proposed cuts to the academic program are not about performance. They are financial decisions. Eliminating successful programs risk undoing years of progress. Being able to speak multiple language is a critical skills in today's society. Our students are not just learning a language. They are developing the skills needed to contribute to a competitive, diverse workforce right here in Prince George County. I appreciate all your support, and I urge you to protect and sustain the program that already been working. Thank you for your time and consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Ingrid, Janae Bafish, and Candace Perkins.
Good evening, Council members. I am Ingrid Rojas, the parent of a student at Cesar Chavez Dual Spanish Immersion School. I am here tonight because the decisions that you make will directly shape the future of Prince George's County. Chronic underfunding has real consequences. At Cesar Chavez, outdated facilities led to a classroom fire that put our children's health and safety at risk. Now we are watching the dismantling of programs that make PGCPS competitive, including language immersion and IB programs that expand opportunities for students from all backgrounds. This is not how a county committed to its future should operate. Public education is not just a budget line. It's a proven investment. Well-funded schools lead to higher graduation rates, higher projected lifetime incomes, and a stronger local economy. They also reduce crime, saving taxpayer dollars in the long run. When we cut education, we do not eliminate costs. We shift them to other systems, often at far greater expense. I urge you to add at least $50 million to the Board of Education's budget to avoid more cuts. Without this funding, students will pay the price. That is unacceptable. PG County can do better. Please put the students first and provide the necessary funding that ensures that our schools have the resources needed to thrive. Our children, our communities, and our county's future depend on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chair and members of the Council. My name is Janie Bavici, and I'm a resident of District 2 and a parent at Cesar Chavez Dual Spanish Immersion. I'm here to urge you to add at least $30 million to the county executive's proposed budget and fully fund the $50 million that PGCPS requested. 2 weeks ago, there was a fire in my daughter's classroom. No one was hurt, but only because it happened on a Sunday. If this had occurred during the school day, the consequences could have been far worse. In the days leading up to the fire, classrooms experienced sustained high temperatures, over 80 degrees indoors during a heat wave. After a week, the air conditioning system was finally activated, and that's when the fire occurred. We then learned the cause was degraded wiring in a unit ventilator, and that dozens of similar units existed in the building with the same risk. The district is now moving to replace those units in the coming weeks. That's important, but this was not a one-off incident. It's a warning sign. It reflects a larger reality: aging infrastructure, deferred maintenance, and risks that are often only addressed after something goes wrong. At the same time, we are being asked to accept cuts to programs like language immersion and IB, the very programs that make our schools strong and keep families in this district. We should not have to choose between safe buildings and strong programs. I urge you to fund PGCPS at the requested level, restore the $7.8 million in program cuts, and invest in school facilities so risks are addressed before, not after, incidents occur. Families should not have to rely on luck to keep their children safe at school. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we had Candace and then Jamia. Okay. Ruby. Say it again. Yeah. It's okay. No worries. For AV, I don't know if we could turn it up a little bit so it's easier for them to hear. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair and Councilwoman, councilpersons. My name is Candace Perkins. I am the parent of two current Prince George's County Public School scholars, the president of Frederick Douglass High School, and a candidate for District 9 Board of Education. I'm here tonight for a very simple reason. Our students cannot afford for you to say no to the full $50 million funding request. I'm not speaking in theory. I'm speaking from what I see every single day. I see educators stretching limited resources to meet group growing needs. I see programs that engage our students are sitting on the chopping blocks. I see families doing their part while wondering if the system will do their part too. And here's the truth. When funding falls short, students feel it first, and they carry the impact the longest. This isn't about extras. This is about maintaining the academic programs, staffing, and support systems that keep our systems on track. When we talk about college readiness, workforce development, and safe supporting learning environments, this funding is directly tied to all of it. As a parent, I am asking you, how do we expect our children to compete, thrive, and lead if we continue to ask them to do more with less? As the PTSO president, I'm telling you, families are engaged, they are paying attention, and they're counting on leadership to prioritize education. And as a Board of Ed candidate, I am going to be completely honest with you. The alignment between the council and the school system isn't optional. It's necessary because when we're not aligned, students fall through the cracks. So tonight, I'm urging you, fully fund this request, not partially, not conditionally, fully, because this decision will speak volumes about what you value and what you're willing to invest in. Our students are not a line item. They are the future of Prince George's County. Thank you.
Thank you. Jamia and Ruby. Okay. Can you say your names when you come up for me, please? No, when you come up to the mic, for the record. Just so I can mark you off. Okay.
Good evening, council members. My name is Dr. Sergio Garcia. Buenas noches a todos y todas. I'm here to ask for your support for Ecolatinos through Project Charge and the county's non-departmental grant in the fiscal year 2027 budget. Ecolatinos is a non-profit organization working to fill a critical gap in our communities. We train Latino landscapers in environmentally sustainable practices. Through our programs, participants gain skills to install green infrastructure that plays a vital role in stormwater management, flood mitigation, and watershed protection. Over 40% of landscaping workers nationwide are Latino, and nearly 1 in 4 PG County residents is Latino. Therefore, an investment in Ecolatinos is an investment in our county's workforce, environment, and economic future. Through our training, we have seen firsthand how this work creates real opportunity. Elizabeth Enriquez, a Prince George County resident and landscaper who recently completed our urban forestry training, shared that Ecolatinos gave her the tools to grow as a professional and expand what she could offer her clients. She said, "To me, Ecolatinos represented an opportunity not only for economic growth, but also a way to better contribute to the care of the environment and my community." Elizabeth's experience reflects what is possible when we invest in people: better career, better opportunities, resilient communities, and a more sustainable county. Ecolatinos provides more than technical training. We create a space where culture and identity are valued alongside professional growth. Continued investment from the county is essential to sustain and expand this impact. Supporting Ecolatinos means supporting a skilled workforce, healthier neighborhoods, and more equitable access to green economic opportunities. I urge you to include Ecolatinos in the fiscal year 2027 budget and help us continue this important work. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. I am Dr. Teresa Ramirez, Ecolatinos Program Development and Community Outreach Manager. I'm here today to ask for your support for Ecolatinos and the county's non-departmental grant in the fiscal year of 2027 budget. Our work is expanding, and a key part of that growth is our youth environmental summer camp, which has served more than 100 students, and it is offered at no cost to families in our communities. This program provides high school students from public schools located in Prince George's County with a hands-on, immersive experience in environmental conservation, outdoor exploration, and climate change awareness. For many participants, this is their first exposure to environmental green careers, learning about the environment, as well as meeting individuals in these fields. The summer camps provide students with the opportunity to see how they can also play a role in shaping more sustainable and a cleaner environment, which is very important. Through engaging, supportive instruction, students build confidence, ask questions, collaborate with their peers, and they begin to see themselves as environmental leaders. At the same time, this program strengthens our mission by creating a pipeline of young people who are informed, inspired, and connected to the county's environmental goals. The Youth Environmental Summer Camp is not just a summer experience. It's an entry point into lifelong environmental stewardship and opportunity. Most students share that they enjoy being in the outdoors and exploring new places, as well as meeting new people, but also learning about green careers and opportunities. They leave the program feeling empowered, and that's something that we really want to continue doing. The funding provided not only will help us continue to offer this free summer program, but also provide the Ecolatinos team the opportunity to continue delivering these type of programs for the youth. What we're building is bigger than a program. We're continue creating pathways for green career opportunities for young people. So we really urge you to support us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Ruby Stemley. I'm the founder and CEO of Ecolatinos, and I'm here to urge each and every one of you to include Ecolatinos in your list of candidates for in the budget for the non-departmental and project charge for the year 2027. Across the county, we're working in neighborhoods that are already facing the impacts of environmental challenges, flooding, extreme heat, and lack of green infrastructure, and where support has kept pace with the need. After years doing our work, what we're seeing is this. When you invest in people, they show up. They show up as small business owners learning new skills. We have trained many of them. They show up as young people discovering future that they had not considered. And we have taken them in multiple summer camps as well. And the impact is already visible. Our trained landscapers are installing rain gardens, bioswales, permeable pavement, and planting trees all over the county. And through our partnerships with municipalities, churches, and schools, we're reaching communities in every corner of the county. But the reality is that we're stretched, our team is small, and demand keeps growing. We need this funding to sustain our programs and build the capacity to keep up. That's why your support through the non-departmental grant and project charge is so important to give us the ability at a crucial point, and we need your support to continue to do this work, this amazing work in the years to come. We thank you for your strong support to ensure this work continues for the year 2020, and thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Randall? Jackie Randall. Okay. Teresa Smith?
Good evening, council members. I am before you today as a dedicated, involved parent, a policy advocate, and a champion for the programs that are actively working within Prince George's County Public Schools. We are at a critical juncture regarding our budget, and the impact of these decisions are not abstract. It is deeply programmatic, and it is immediate. Right now, I am facing the devastating reality that my own child is losing their special educator directly due to these funding issues. When we cut the professionals who provide essential legally mandated support, we dismantle the very foundation of our students' success. This loss is compounded by the looming threat to the language immersion pathway and IB programs. I have vested interest here, as you guys can see, because I see firsthand how effectively they serve our students. My own child has learned to thrive in the French Immersion IB program, and we know these rigorous frameworks build exceptional scholars. Yet, without key funding from this council, the very programs that keep families invested in our public schools are on the chopping block, and not due to the lack of effectiveness. Furthermore, we need absolute transparency regarding the proposed $20 million allocation for special education. As it stands, it is entirely unclear whether these dollars will be designated as restricted funds. If this money is not strictly restricted, it remains vulnerable to being reallocated, leaving our most marginalized students without the resources they need. I urge this council to allocate additional funding directly to the schools to save and sustain our educational programs. We cannot afford to defund what works. I am also asking you do this to protect our special educators and invest in the programs that prepare our children for the future. You heard me identify the specific programs, and I stand here along with my children because we are a direct impact to the decision you all make for PGCPS. Thank you.
Thank you. And I hope my little teapot is proud of me one day to get up there and get the close-up shot. Next, we have Jennifer Wells.
Good evening. I'm Jennifer Wells, District 6 resident and Executive Director of Beyond a Buddy, a nonprofit organization that supports the animals at Prince George's County Animal Services Division. I'm here in support of the increased funding requested by Animal Services. Over the past year, the shelter has made progress in improving operations, expanding programs, and made strides in strengthening its relationship with the community. At the same time, the shelter is facing a growing crisis. Animal intake continues to rise. In 2025, the shelter took in nearly 1,000 more animals than the previous year, and another significant increase is expected this year. That increase impacts every part of shelter operations, including kennel space, medical care, food and supplies, behavioral support, and staffing. The system is already being stretched, and maintaining or reducing current funding levels will place even more strain on services and care. Euthanizing healthy animals for space is not an acceptable long-term plan. The animals deserve better. The staff deserve the additional support needed to continue this difficult and important work. And the community deserves an animal services system that can respond humanely and effectively to growing needs. Additional investment in both shelter operations and prevention-focused programs would help reduce intake over time. This includes expanded access to low-cost vaccination clinics, microchip clinics, affordable spay and neuter services, and TNR programs for community cats. We cannot expect better outcomes while asking the shelter to do more with the same funding or even less. I respectfully urge the council to increase funding for animal services as requested, and I would personally like to extend an invitation to each of you to come visit the animal services facility. Thank you.
Thank you. Last name Lawrence. Then a Kit Slack and Amy Progoski.
Good evening, Chair and County Council. My name is Kit Slack. I'm here for Streetcar Suburbs, a homegrown Prince George's County local news publisher. We send newspapers to 100,000 county residents each month. We also have local news websites, a weekly email newsletter, and a growing social media presence. We provide local news and information that residents need to come together to take care of each other, protect the environment, and support local businesses and artists. We celebrate our communities. We offer shared information about shared places that allows residents to disagree without disconnecting and to participate in self-governance. We started in 2004 with the Hyattsville Life and Times, keeping costs low by printing only once a month. We attracted local business advertisers by mailing to every address in town rather than only to subscribers. Our nonprofit has grown and won awards as other news organizations have closed or shrunk. That's because our innovative model relies on diverse revenue streams from donations, grants, contracts to print city information, and advertising. In 2020, we added a second newspaper, the College Park Here and Now. In 2022, we launched the Laurel Independent. In 2023, thanks to a non-departmental grant from you all, residents in some unincorporated areas began receiving the newspaper too. 4 months ago, we began a pilot of Spanish language news, publishing 4 pages in Spanish in 2 of our cities, where we were able to celebrate the work you all are doing to defend the county's immigrant communities. I'm here tonight to ask you to keep a good thing going and to double our non-departmental grant this year to $60,000 so that we can expand circulation to more unincorporated addresses near our cities and meet the need there for local news and information in immigrant communities. Thank you for your support for affordable, accessible local news and information in our county.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. My name is Mark Lawrence, and my 2 boys are in 2nd grade and kindergarten at Dora County French Immersion School. I would like tonight to urge funding for the special academic programs in PGCPS, including the language immersion programs, which have been repeatedly targeted in the last year by PGCPS for cuts compared to community schools. My kids' schools, Dora County, has a proven record of academic success. I think Piper, one of the students who spoke here early, did a great job of explaining the benefits of immersion. I think I'm concerned, as you are, about the scale of the budget shortfall, and I think that requires short and long-term reform from PGCPS. It's incumbent on PGCPS to ensure that its maximum resources are directed to classrooms, teachers, and students rather than being disproportionately absorbed by administration overhead. My kids love their teachers, and I'm really impressed with their academic progress. I'm also really frustrated by the difficulty and inertia of working with PGCPS administrators out of the school. And I think we need to give the PGCPS the strategic space to really think critically about how to direct its resources. At the same time, for next year, we need to maintain and improve our education for our children. And you have an opportunity to create that strategic space for accountability, including via oversight from the council, so that PGCPS can work with the county, parents, and educators to focus on education rather than jumping into these massive cuts. We need strategic investment and outcomes and engagement to expand high-quality education for all children in the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Amy, then Kate, Rob, and Ian Fay.
Hi, good evening again. My name is Amy Progoski. I am a resident of District 1 and a volunteer at the County Animal Shelter. I first want to reiterate what I testified about last week, ensuring that ASD complies with the law and spays and neuters all animals leaving with the public. For those that can't be altered due to illness, track them and bring them back in for surgery. Having 400 dogs leave unaltered in the past couple years and not knowing who's still unaltered is unacceptable. The impact of having unaltered dogs in the public is not a one-for-one, meaning one unspayed dog will have one puppy. It's actually exponential. Second, I want to emphasize that animal control is not a 9-to-5 operation. Currently, the animals are left alone from 7 p.m. until the next morning. While that alone is worrisome, since animals have died alone or given birth alone overnight, it also leaves the citizens in a pinch if they find a stray animal after hours. In January, I trapped 2 dogs a couple weeks apart at 2 different parts of Laurel. They were each running at large for a month in the bitter winter. I was able to drive the first one we trapped at about 8 o'clock to a friend's house to overnight her until the shelter opened up the next day, since she appeared friendly and healthy. The other dog was very skittish, so we got him trapped around 11 p.m. I called animal control and offered to drive him down there. They said no, I had to wait till 7 a.m. the next morning. The problem was I had nowhere to put him. Luckily, the couple who was feeding the dog, since it was in their neighborhood, agreed to overnight him despite being worried about keeping their cats separate and safe. A couple weeks ago, a citizen brought a husky they found running at large to the shelter, and it was turned away because it was after hours. The shelter needs to be able to accommodate the public when they find stray pets. The public's doing the responsible thing to bring them to the shelter so that people can find them. The shelter can't say, come back tomorrow. And honestly, many people can't accommodate holding a pet overnight. Last year, my neighbor rang my doorbell at 8 a.m. on a Monday morning with a large mastiff, asked if I knew who it belonged to. It didn't. But I offered to, take the dog and call animal control. I did. They said they could come pick it up, but they don't know how long it's going to be, and if I can't drive it down there, to release it. I'm not about to do that. The animal shelter needs more resources, additional funding to make sure after-hours staffing is there to support the animals and the public. As of today at 4:30, there were 177 stray dogs in the shelter, and that's just way too many. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Kate, and then Ian, and then the last 2 after that, Allison and Rachel.
Hello, thank you so much for having me here tonight. My name is Kate Robb, and I live in Chilham, Maryland. I appreciate everyone's testimony so far, particularly from the students we've heard from, the teachers, the parents, and advocates sharing how important education is to them and their community, and I'm here to share in my advocacy for education. In my day job, I am a public health professional, and we know that education is one of the social determinants of health. It means it determines how well you do for the rest of your life. It impacts your health and your income, your employment. Education is vital for people to thrive. But I'm really here today representing myself as a parent, a proud parent of a first grader at Cesar Chavez Dual Spanish Immersion Program. And if you've already heard from our incredible parents who are here tonight, we have wonderful teachers. My son has wonderful peers and an active parent community. I've seen his joy and his curiosity from learning a second language and so appreciate the supportive staff at the school. But I also know and have seen how hard it is to work in an underfunded school. You've already heard tonight that there was a classroom fire 2 weeks ago, and it's caused incredible concern among our staff, kids, and parents. We also heard at another school about rats and tiles falling on children's heads and mold. And poor infrastructure is not just in the schools. While attending a PG Board of Education school bus electrification call last month, I learned that the mobile units used to store tools have roofs leaking, ceiling tiles are falling, and the tiles might have asbestos. Staff and children are risking their health and lives to go to schools and to go to their jobs. So I believe in the Blueprint's vision to advance equity, and we believe in investing in our students so that they can continue to grow and thrive in our county. I ask you to honor the Board of Education requests for additional funds. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Can you all see me? Can you hear me? My name is Ian Fay. I'm a parent of a second grader at Cesar Chavez Dual Spanish Immersion Elementary School. We really want to thank you all for letting us come here to speak this evening. I don't know how you differentiate between the testimonies when we're all coming here for the same thing. I know that it must be difficult to have your hands on the purse strings to provide necessary funding for all of the different things that go on in this county. But the reason that I'm here tonight is for my daughter. She's 7 years old. She's going to go into third grade next year. Her name is Ava. Her classroom caught on fire a few weeks ago, and all of her stuff was burned. A few weeks before that, the namesake of our school came out with allegations of terrible things to the point where we have to change the name of our school. An act of God and things that were out of our control is one thing to have to deal with among the many things that a Spanish immersion community has to deal with. That now we have to, I guess the word is fight for our budget, and I'm a conflict averse kind of person, so it's difficult for me to come and say, you know, my kid needs the money, but I do know that when money turns into numbers, and all we're doing is pushing buttons these days, it's hard to remember where those end up. So I'm asking you, when you press the buttons this time for the numbers to go out, to remember my daughter. Thank you.
Thank you, Allison, and then Rachel.
Good evening, Council. My name is Allison Mendoza Walters, District 2 resident. At a recent county budget listening session at Rolling Crest, we were told that the county finances are strong. The county allocated almost $3 billion to PGCPS. However, this county's commitment to funding education is overstated because most of that $3 billion comes from the state and is passed through the county. Our experience at the schoolhouse level is rife with evidence of chronic underfunding, as you've heard from other parents and families tonight. I also am a parent of a Cesar Chavez student. One of my 3 children goes there, and you've heard about the electrical fire. I don't think what hasn't been mentioned is the fire followed 2 recent incidents of smoking due to electrical issues. So 1 time is an accident, 2 times a coincidence, 3 times is neglect. And with parent testimony from other schools, I'm seeing the full picture of neglect across the county. In addition to smoke and fire, we had a lead warning earlier this year, lead in the water. We deal, like others in the county, with constantly late buses that cause students to miss instructional time. And we're facing cuts to immersion and other specialty programs. I'm in opposition to the proposed budget, which falls short of the $50 million proposed by the Board of Education, and urge County Council to provide, at minimum, the full $50 million. To address longer-term concerns and funding gaps, pull forth the plan to reduce the some $50 million of dedicated education funding lost from the telecommunications and energy and fuel taxes following 2024 legislation. Ensure Prince George's County Public Schools receives dedicated and earmarked tax revenue from future large development projects, including the Sphere Entertainment Center, and work with the Board of Education to ensure collaboration and transparency, true parent engagement throughout the decision-making process. Thank you.
Thank you. Rachel?
Hello, thank you so much for allowing me to speak once again. My name is Rachel Mulford, and I did speak last week, but I'm just very grateful that I get to speak again to finish some thoughts. Are you aware that we have a shortage of Spanish language interpreters in PG County, but the immersion program at Largo High School launches the youth directly into that career field, and it's on the chopping block. I think it's ludicrous that a program that is a successful career path program would be cut. These future bilingual, bicultural experts are right here in the county in our youth, and I urge you to please seek the Board of Ed's commitment to expand the language immersion programs through better access and information sharing, and not to diminish these programs by cutting. I proudly tell my peers in other counties about the specialty program that lifts my daughter up and challenges her, and I am among the many people who cite it as my reason for why we chose PG Public Schools. Unfortunately, it is clear that many families of means are attracted to PGPCS public schools because of these programs. We are doing something right when we have competitive teacher packages. We are doing something right for implementing the blueprint for Maryland's future. But we are in a national struggle for the very existence of public education. Public education is the key to a functional free press and an informed electorate, and holding the government accountable, and that's why they're going after it. So we all here need to check our priorities and make sure they're in the right place, and that means the dollars. The only way to fight against the very serious challenges which are facing our youth and they're going to have to fix in the future is to lift them above the corporate Moloch with education.
Thank you. That concludes the list of speakers. Does anyone believe they signed up and did not hear their name called? Okay, could you come up and say your name for the record?
Hello, Caroline DeCare Golden.
Okay, Caroline. I'm just going to ask that you sign the list because I don't recall seeing your name.
Okay.
I just want to make sure you're on there for the record, but go ahead.
Thank you so much. Good evening, council members. My name is Dr. Caroline DeCare Golden. I'm a Greenbelt resident, former PGCPS teacher, current PGCPS parent, and a candidate for the District 2 Board of Education seat. The $150 million cut PGPCS is absorbing is one of the largest single-year reductions in district history. I want to acknowledge what this council is proposing, $20 million above the maintenance of effort. That matters, but I'm here tonight to ask you to take the full step and meet the district's request for $50 million. I understand the fiscal constraints this county is navigating, but I want to be clear about what the remaining $30 million is for, our most vulnerable students. The urgency around the state special education corrective action plan is not abstract to me. I have taught students with disabilities who ran out of classrooms in moments of severe dysregulation, students whose brains and bodies were at war with each other every single day and whose physical safety was in jeopardy, students who lay on the floor in tears while I got on my stomach beside them, pausing the lesson for the rest of the class to try and be what they needed in that moment. For each of these children, getting a dedicated aid and appropriate services changed everything. It saved their ability to learn, and I believed it saved their lives. Right now, there are children in PGCPS who are not getting what they are legally entitled to, and we have a legal and moral obligation to ensure our schools have the funding they need to provide appropriate supports for these deserving kids. I am also increasingly concerned about the state of our school facilities. As you heard many families today talk about the fire at Cesar Chavez, where my daughter will be a rising kindergartner in the fall. I was surprised to find out there had been prior instances of smoke the county has had to address. This on top of other PGCPS buildings with HVAC issues and limited potable drinking fountains. Our students deserve nothing but the best, and we must invest in strong academics, safe facilities, great teachers, and equitable supports. You have the solemn responsibility to make sure this happens and to ensure our system is fully funded in future years. Thank you.
Thank you. Was there any, just please make sure you go over to the side here. Perfect, thank you. Anyone else that believes they signed up, just come forward for me. Gotta give me your name. I'll check if you're on the list and I missed you. If not, I'm gonna ask you to do the same thing. Sign up to the side.
Yeah, I couldn't verify.
No worries. We'll get you straight away.
Okay. Hello, my name is Danielle Rose. I'm a lifelong resident of PG County. I currently have 3 children in the public school system, all in the Chinese immersion program. In late January, I stood in this room after recently learning of the planned phase-out of the Chinese immersion program. Since then, I have learned so much about PGCPS, their budget priorities, transparency issues, more than a person would ever want to know. And I'm concerned about the proposed budget cuts affecting the immersion, IB, and special education programs. Today, I stand here again urging the council to fully fund the public schools at the $50 million level they've requested. The weight of adults' fiscal irresponsibilities should not be borne by children in PGCPS care or their future opportunities. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I don't believe I see anyone else that believes they signed up. So I think We good? Okay, so I thank all of you for participating, for coming out, for being part of. Okay, sure, come on up. So if you believe you signed up, I'm going to ask you just to come stand in line. That'll make it easier for me. And then you're going to give me your name. I'll double check the list. And if you're not, I'm going to ask you to sign up, okay?
Alvaro Serrano Ruiz.
Don't recall seeing you, so I'll ask you to sign up.
Okay. All right. Good evening, council members. My name is Alvaro Serrano Ruiz. I come to you today from the perspective of a policy community advocate, a PGCPS proud graduate, and a former school board member. From the perspective of a student, we need the money. Our facilities and environments are harming our students and our staff and are not conducive to the environment that's needed for learning. A student who is subjected to an environment that does not serve them will automatically enter that building and not be able to retain the information that's before them. That's fact, that's research, that's data. And it's important as elected officials, we use that data, that research, and that experience to dictate how we do funding. From the perspective of a former board member, the Budget Office for PGCPS does truly hard work when it comes to preparing the budget for the following year. And this budget process doesn't start a month before it comes to you all. It starts well before the school year starts. And so for these cuts to be seen now is a disservice to students, a disservice to staff, educators, to everyone who is part of the PGCPS community. And that's where you all, the county council, step in. It's easy to, we're in campaign season, so it's easy to put a bullet point that says education advocate or for education. Well, this is the moment to prove it. This is the moment to take action and stand for the education you are claiming. And so, along with all the parents, community members who are here today, we call on you to fully fund PGCPS, to grant the $50 million that's needed to drive our system, to drive and prepare the Prince George's County of tomorrow. So I hope you stand with all of us and fully fund PGCPS. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe there's one person that just arrived that we called earlier. Oh, we've got another person. I don't think you can reach the mic. We're going to get it down for you. Oh, I can't see you, though. Can we move the mic to the side so we can see her? Yeah, could she sit at the desk? Okay, we're going to have you sit at the desk. You're going to join the council for a second. And then push the little button for her. There we go.
Good morning. My name is Rosa. I need my learning to be good, so can you save Paint Branch? Thank you.
Best one all night. All right. Anyone else? I believe there was one person that said they come on up.
Good evening.
I'm going to ask you to move it down a little bit so we can hear you.
Good evening. My name is Jacqueline Randall, and I am a parent of a disabled individual who resides here in Prince George County. We're in Ward 8. I just had a few things that I wanted to share. Teresa is supported by Miss Lisa Deal. She encourages Teresa in all her activities and is possible and impossible activities that she tries to do. Teresa talks to Miss Lisa about what bothers her and how to navigate the solutions to her problems. Melissa goes over and beyond with her interaction with Teresa. This is why wages are so important to keep staff available for people with intellectual and physical disabilities. The Randall family is very grateful and truly blessed to have Lisa in all of our lives. For this reason, I am advocating for Lisa and all who are working with individuals with disabilities to help them to be the best that they can be. Thank you.
Thank you. Is this the last one? Okay.
Good evening, County Council and board members. My name is Jamia Caraway, and I'm the proud parent of a child with intellectual developmentally disabilities. I'm not only his advocate, but I'm a former DSP, and now I work for a nonprofit organization by the name of EPIC, which is empowering people with intellectual challenges. I would like to thank you for your support, your strong support in the disability community. I am here today to speak about why direct support professionals deserve increased budget funding. DSPs are the backbone of our support system for individuals with disabilities. Every day they provide hands-on care, ensure safety, promote independence, and help people live meaningful, dignified lives in their communities. This is not just a job, it's essential, life-changing work. Yet despite their critical role they play, DSPs are often underpaid and overworked. Low wages and limited resources lead to high turnover rates, staffing shortages, and burnout. When we do not invest in DSPs, the quality and consistency of care suffers, and the individuals who rely on these services are one that most are affected. Increasing the budget for DSPs from $4.6 million to $6.9 is not just about higher pay, it's about stability, training, and respect. It also allows organizations to retain experienced staff, provide better services, and ensure continuity of care. It also sends a message that we value the people who dedicate their lives to supporting others. This investment ultimately benefits everyone. Strong DSP support reduces hospitalization, prevent crisis, and help individuals remain active. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And again, I thank all of you for coming out, for making sure your voice is heard in this process. We appreciate you. This point in the hearing, we'll turn it over to staff to read a potential CIP project listing. For transparency, these projects are just potential projects. They're by rules, we have to read it into the budget. At this time in the hearing, it does not mean that these projects will actually be negotiated into the official CIP, but each council member, as they advocate for their district, it's just a step in the process. And if we don't put forward the potential project now, then we can't advocate for it during the budget negotiation process. So I don't want someone to hear something excited and think it's automatically in the budget process. This is just a step in the process that allows us to advocate for these possible projects. So I'll pass it to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair Oriata, Vice Chair Olson, council members, ladies and gentlemen. Pursuant to Section 809 of the Charter for Prince George's County, Maryland, after the final public budget hearing, the council may not add new items but may increase, decrease, or delete any items in the budget except those required by the laws of this state or of this county, and accept any provisions for debt service on obligations then outstanding or for estimated cash deficits. The first public budget hearing was duly advertised and held on Tuesday, April 28th, 2026 at 6 p.m. The second and final public budget hearing was duly advertised and held on Monday, May 4th, 2026 at 6 p.m. As prescribed by Charter Section 809, the County Council is contemplating the following additional projects to the proposed FY 2027 through 2032 Capital Improvement Program. District 1, Laurel, project name, Laurel High School, agency PGCPS, Estimated cost, $200 million. Description, rebuild the high school except the new science and performing arts wing. District 3, project name, Northern Prince George's East-West Bikeway. Agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, building out of the trail. Road project name, road projects at Sarvis Avenue, 60th Avenue, and Norman Avenue. The relevant agency is Department of Public Works and Transportation. The estimated cost to be determined. The description is road resurfacing. William Wirt Middle School frontage. Relevant agency, Department of Public Works and Transportation. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, streetscape construction. Next project, Riverdale Heights Volunteer Fire Department. Agency, Fire Department. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, HVAC system. District 4, road resurfacing. Project name, road resurfacing, 63rd Avenue. Agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, 63rd Avenue, 63rd Place to Maryland 202. Project name, road resurfacing, Maryland 202. Agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Maryland Route 202 to Kilmer Street. Project name, Collington Station, Grovehurst, and Tall Oaks Crossing Community. Agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Columbia Park Road at intersection with Maryland Route 704. Project name, Fairwood Community. Agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Duckett Town Road through Maple Road to House at 1200 700 block. Old Chapel Estates and Prospect Knolls Community Project. Agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Felicia Lane to Old Chapel Road to end. Next project, Glen Station Homeowners Association. Agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Glen Station Court, Guinevere Road to Cul-de-sac. Project name, Fairwood Community. Agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Greenleaf Road to Matthew Henson Road to Muncie Road. Project name, Camelot Community. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Road resurfacing, Guinevere Road to Sir Lancelot Road cul-de-sac. Fairwood Community Project. Agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Hillmead Station Drive through Hillmead Road to end. Project name, Hilltop Estates. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Road resurfacing, Hilltop Lane to Laurel Bowie Road to end. Next project, Homestead Owners Association. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Homestake Drive through Vane Road cul-de-sac. Next project, road safety improvements, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Kilmer Road through 64th Avenue to 63rd Place. Hillmead Homeowners Association project, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Hillmead Station Drive to cul-de-sac. Next project, Patuxent River Community, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Queen Anne Bridge Road to 800 feet north of Queen Anne Bridge Road. Next project, Collington Station Homeowners Association, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Road resurfacing, Mission Road through Maryland, Route 193 to end. Next project, Whitehall Subdivision, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Old Chapel Road, Wakefield to Wakefield Lane to Canfield Lane. Next project, road improvements, Old Laurel Bowie Road, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Old Laurel Bowie Road, Maple Avenue to Tompkins Lane. Next project, Patuxent Glen Community, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Patuxent Avenue through Glendale Road, cul-de-sac. Hillmead Homeowners Association, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Prospect Hill Road, Maryland 193 to Hillmead Road. Amber Meadows 11 Homeowners Association, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Racetrack Road through Ovalstone Lane to Clearfield Road. Next project, Amber Meadows 11 Homeowners Association, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Road resurfacing, Ransom Road to the cul-de-sac. Next project, Woodmore Highlands Homeowners Association, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Sullivan Avenue to Kilmer Street to end. Next project, Parkwood and Bright Manor Subdivision, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Thompson Road to Hillmead Road to end. Next project, Hybrid Subdivision, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Road resurfacing, description, road resurfacing, Zircon Drive through Hybrid Bridge Road to end. Next project, Woodmore Estates Community, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing, Woodmore Road around site of Woodmore Elementary School side. Next project, Presley Manor Community, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing and speed bumps, 97th Avenue and Elvis Lane. Whitehall, next project, Whitehall Community, relevant agency DPW&T, estimated cost to be determined. Description, speed bumps, Lancaster Lane. Next project, Mill Branch Estates Community. Relevant agency DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, speed bumps at Weary Creek Court. The next project, Seven Crossings Community. Relevant agency DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, traffic calming speed humps on Driscoll Drive. Next one is Seven Crossings Community. Relevant agencies DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, sidewalks. Next project, Seven Crossings Community. Relevant agency DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road maintenance on Good Luck Road and Springfield Road. Next project, 12 Oaks Community. Relevant agency DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing and pothole repair, Central Avenue and Church Road. Next project, Bel Air Town Community. Relevant agency DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing and traffic light on Racetrack Road. Next project, Yorktown Community. Relevant agency DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, chain link fence installation east side of Yorktown and Idlewild Drive. Next project, Wakefield Community. Relevant agency DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing and potholes in Glendale Crossing. Next project, Dewberry Community. Relevant agency DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road resurfacing of the 1000th block of Dewberry Street. Next project, Brooklyn Community. Relevant agency DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, street light installation and incorporation into county system for services. Next project, Governor's Bridge Road Street lighting. Relevant agency DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, street light replacement for 2nd Street light in from the U.S. Route 301 intersection with Governor's Bridge Road. Next project, Mount Oak repavement. Relevant agency DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road repavement in 2 sections of Mount Oak Road that need to be repaved. One before the CSS tracks and one before the small bridge over the Collington Branch Stream. Next project, Wingate Community. Relevant agency, Department of Environment. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, maintenance and stormwater management of pond. Next project, Bowie Aquatic Center. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost, $25 million. Description, development of a multi-generational aquatic center in the city of Bowie to serve residents of all ages. Next project, Bowie Gymnasium. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost, $10 million. Description, construction of a new gymnasium in the city of Bowie, including indoor basketball courts and outdoor fitness amenities. Next project, Glendale Water Tower restoration. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, rehabilitation of the historic Glendale Water Tower at the intersection of Old Glendale Road and Maryland Route 450, including vegetation clearing and exterior repainting to restore the structure as a community gateway landmark. District 5, Landover, first project, Landover Gateway Regional Central Library. Prince George Agency, Prince George's County Memorial Library System. Estimated cost, $500,000. Description, feasibility study to place a new community library and event space in the Millers Plaza on Bright Seat Road. Next project, Aerospace Exploration Discovery Center. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost, $250,000. Description, feasibility study to plan, design, and support development of an Aerospace Exploration Discovery Center. Next project, Bladensburg Waterfront Revitalization. Relevant agencies, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission and Department of Environment. Estimated cost, $1 million. Description, investing $1 million towards water cleanup and revitalization along the Bladensburg waterfront. Next project, Bladensburg Community Center Pool. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost, $2 million. Description, requesting a $2 million investment towards installing a new swimming pool at the Bladensburg Community Center. Next project, Sports and Learning Complex Upgrades. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost, $500,000. Description, investing $500,000 to upgrade the appearance of the Sports and Learning Complex, including upgrading the interior and exterior facades of the building. The next project, District 7, Teen Space. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, create a safe space just for teens in District 7. Next project, DuPont Heights Park. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost, $500,000. Description, renovation. Next project, Seat Pleasant Community Center. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, renovation. Next project, John E. Howard Community Center. Relevant agency, PGCPS and Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, renovation. Next project, Suitland Building. Relevant agency, Redevelopment Authority. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, activate vacant building to be used. Next project, County Child Care Facility. Relevant agency, Office of Central Services. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, build a child care center. Next project, Community Space. Relevant agency, Office of Central Services. Estimated cost, $5 million. Description, renovate the old Seat Pleasant Fire Station. Next project, Indoor Playground. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost, $5 million. Description, create an indoor playground. Next project, Benjamin Stoddard Middle School. Relevant agency, PGCPS. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, renovation. Next project, District Heights Elementary School. Relevant agency, PGCPS. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, parking lot repavement. Next project, Rollins Avenue. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, repaving. Next project, 5,000 to 5107 block of Marlboro Pike. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, repaving. Next project, Diana Road and Walnut Lane. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, repaving. Next project, Good Hope Avenue. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, repaving. Next project, Ritchie Road and Forestville Road. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, repaving. Next project, Walker Mill Road. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, repaving. Next project, Temple Hills Dog Park. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost, $500,000. Description, create a fenced area for dogs to play off-leash with fellow canines. The park should include separate areas for large and small dogs, a pavilion for shade, agility obstacles, and a drinking fountain. Next project, District Heights Dog Park. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost, $500,000. Description, create a fenced area for dogs to play off-leash with fellow canines. The park should include separate areas for large and small dogs, a pavilion for shade, agility obstacles, and a drinking fountain. Next project, John E. Howard Community Center. Relevant agency, PGCPS. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, renovation. Next project, Spalding renovation. Relevant agency, Prince George's County Moore Library System. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, renovation. Next project, Suitland Road. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, needs prescription pedestrian safety improvements. Next project, Temple Hills Road. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, reconstruction and repaving. Next project, Woodland Boulevard. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, reconstruction and repaving. Next project, 2400 block of Boones Lane. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, reconstruction, and repaving. Next project, 7612 Kipling Parkway to Ritchie Road. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, reconstruction, and repaving. Next project, 4600 block of Southview Drive. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, reconstruction, and repaving. Next project, Suitland Road and Kingswood Drive, and also in front of 3710 Kingswood Drive. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, reconstruction, repaving. Next project, Spalding Avenue. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, reconstruction, and repaving. Next project, Iverson Street under the bridge. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, reconstruction, and repaving. District 8. Project Fort Washington Library. Agency, Prince George's County Memorial Library System. Estimated cost, $20 million. Description, planning. Next project, multi-gen facility, Camp Springs. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost, $300 million. Description, new construction. Next project, basketball courts, Oxon Hill. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost, $3 million. Description, new construction. Next project, Barnaby Manor Trail. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost, $1,500,000. Description, new construction. Next project, Hensing Creek Trail. Relevant agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost, $1,500,000. Description, new construction. Next project, Oxon Hill Recreation Club Swimming Pool. Agency, Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Estimated cost, $1,500,000. Description, new construction. Next project, Southern Area School. Relevant agency, PGCPS. Estimated cost, $70 million. Description, new construction. District 9. Project name, road replacement. Relevant agency, DPW&T. Estimated cost to be determined. Description, road replacement at McKendree Road, Accokeek Road to Brickell Road. Next project, Clinton Intersection Road replacement. This is existing CIP page 206, but what is being provided is updated language. And the relevant agency is Department of Public Works and Transportation. The estimated cost is $23.949 million. The existing page 206 and the additions to that are in red and bold. This project provides for intersection improvements to include, but not limited to, geometric and safety improvements, including traffic signal and or modifications, that's in red, pedestrian safety improvements, drainage improvements, lane widening and or additions and realignment of existing roadways. Intersections identified are listed below. Position on the list does not indicate priority. Piscataway and Steed Road, Phase 1 and 2. Piscataway and Tippett Road, Phase 1 and 2. Piscataway and Temple Hills Road, Allentown Road and Steed Road, Allentown and Old Fort Road, Old Fort Road and Old Fort Place, Piscataway Road, Indian Head Highway, and Old Fort Road Phase 1 and 2. In red is Steed Road link widening to 4-lane Collector Road. Total project cost increases from 19.749 million to 23.949 million, to include $600,000 for signalization at Old Fort Road and Allentown Road. 2, $3.6 million for link widening Steed Road to 4-lane collector. The next project at large, at the at-large district, the South County roads. The relevant agency is DPW&T. The estimated cost to be determined. The description: roads in South County near and around new developments need to be repaved and updated. There are a lot of country roads in South County area that need repairs. And that concludes the recitation of the additional CIP projects.
Thank you. Seeing that we have no additional business on the agenda, do I have a motion to adjourn? I'm sorry. Do I have something on the agenda? Okay. I thought you were signaling to me. Properly motioned by Vice Chair, seconded by Councilman Noga. All those in favor say aye. We are adjourned.